Hello, welcome to another live. Here we are in 2023. How the years are flying by. So I love to hear how you're starting the year. What are your intentions for this year? Do you have any words of intention? Sometimes people like to start the year with a word. My word is life. Reconnecting to life even more, which is why I bought a trampoline. I bought a mini trampoline and I have that here. So whenever I'm spending too much time on the computer, then I can just step off and bounce and spend some time moving the body, because this is the thing. When we're moving the body, when we're getting back into the body, when we're dancing, when we're breathing, becoming embodied, then things feel very different compared to when we're up here, just living life through the head, through the mind. So that's how I started the year, bouncing. So I'd love to hear your words of intentions, whatever those are. You can just pop that in the chat. Some people love to start the year with words like peace or connection or pleasure or fill in the blank. There's many different things. Could be mindfulness, could be breath, slowing down, stillness. These are all wonderful intentions. And just pay attention to nature. I mean, obviously, where we are based in the world, everyone's in different countries around the world, and some people in the northern hemisphere, some people in the southern hemisphere. Depending where you are, nature's doing slightly different things. Those of you in the northern hemisphere, nature is in winter. Obviously, this depends on the country. Though winter is still very much in its hibernation stage in many countries. I mean, it's starting to open up. You can see the buds forming on the trees. You can see some of the new shoots and the new trees, like the new leaves on the trees, will come out soon. Though it's still there. It's still just in this hibernation stage, and it's the energy starting to emerge up out of that. So if you feel that you're oh, new year, I should be here with lots of energy and really going for it, and I don't feel like that, I just feel sluggish, and that's okay. That's totally okay. Go easy on yourself. It's okay to start the year slowly. Ease yourself into the year. And let's not forget that actually this new year, this calendar, is actually a man-made thing. If we were really listening to the earth and going with the seasons, we would be focused more on the solstice and the different equinoxes around the year, rather than the calendar dates. So just go easy. Just allow yourself to ease into the year and find what feels good. So today I wanted to share a few things. I put the title of this live as connecting to the truth in life. And obviously there are many, many, many different perspectives and truths and different things out there, though. And this is a big year for truth. This is a massive year. So those of you who are signed up to my podcast, those of you who listen to my podcast episode, there's a new episode going out on Wednesday. We're starting the new year with numerology, the sacred science of numbers. And I will be talking about what this particular year, what numerology says about this particular year, what this particular year is about, 2023, according to numerology. So I'll be talking about that and sharing that in the podcast. Part of that is the truth, connecting to the truth. and what is your truth. So really getting curious about that, and like, what's the deeper truth in life? Like, what's the deeper thread, the deeper truth in life? What is it really about? Now, this isn't necessarily something that we will find out all the answers to and know everything to. Life is a mystery, and there are so many unknowns and question marks, and so many things that perhaps we have yet to explore that maybe we will never find out, or maybe there are things that we'll find out in the future. We don't know. There are so many things out there. So it's like just getting curious. It's more about that curiosity and that desire to want to explore and just get curious, like that curiosity, that loving curiosity that children have when they're young, when they're exploring life. Like this, sometimes as adults we forget that. We go through life focused on the bills and the to-do lists and all of that. Whereas when you observe children, when they've suddenly connected with something that they've never seen before, like whether that's a pair of slippers or whether that is, I don't know, a flower or a piece of grass or like even a snail or different things around the house, like a wooden spoon, like they will get so curious about it and just really look at every single detail. So I wonder what would change if we related to life in that way, if we started to adopt a little bit more of that loving curiosity, that open curiosity about life. Like, what would we discover? What would we find out? What new things would we experience? Getting curious and opening up to that curiosity. This is something that we can connect to and be like, oh, I wonder, like, who are we really? And why are we here? It's not to say that we might find the answer straight away, and also there are many answers. There's not really one answer. There can be many different perspectives. Though just opening up to that, getting curious about that, can then open us up to many gifts along the way. Because that's the thing, it's more about the journey, it's more about the unfolding, it's more about the exploring than the final destination. It's more about that. It's more about the discovery along the way. So those of you who listened to my last live will know that I have been writing in these journals, and I've been connecting to messages from the heart, setting that intention to write from the heart and just really write automatically, as if like trying to put the logical, rational mind to one side and just connect to that all-loving, all-knowing part of myself, which every single person has. And this is the second journal now. I'm on the second one because I've written so much that I've already filled up the first journal. So now I'm on the second one. And I write these messages and I just ask questions. Like sometimes I'll ask questions about what I'm currently going through in my life or challenges that I see in the world. And then I just ask questions and then write a response and notice what comes up. And it can be really interesting what pops up, like some of these responses. Sometimes they're things that I know, sometimes they're things I've forgotten, sometimes they're things that I have never heard of before, and it's described in a way that's really beautiful and really simple and like, oh, of course, that makes so much sense. So I found it really helpful, and the reason why I'm sharing these in my newsletters and also in the podcast and also little bits here also, because I think that perhaps other people can find them useful too. So I will share one message now for you. I will read it out. To see beyond the veil into the field of truth is an art that many have forgotten. to look into the eyes of life, give thanks and honor life, recognizing life for what it is, a dance, an experience, an opportunity for deepening, and so much more. So that's just like a short little message. I will type it up once I finish the live. I would put this in the description. So just notice like what comes up when you hear that, like when you hear that life is a dance, life is an exploration, life is an opportunity to go even deeper, deeper with ourselves, with others, with the experience around us. To look at life with new eyes, to open up to all the other things in life, not to be so focused on the material side of things, but to open up to everything else. It can be really interesting to look at life through those eyes, to connect to life in that way. And when we do that, things start to shift, things start to transform, we start to see the bigger picture, we start to experience new things that perhaps we haven't experienced before, or reconnect to, or remember things that perhaps we've forgotten. Seeing it as a dance, a celebration. So what is life for you? Like, what is life really about? Big question, I know. You don't need to have the response right away. But what is life really about? For you, finding your answer to this, not someone else's, but your answer. Maybe this pops up later on, some answers, maybe in a few weeks or a few months, or maybe it comes much later. Who knows? There'll be these constant little pockets of awareness that will pop up on your journey. That's part of the beauty, part of the magic. So that's something I wanted to share, and just to open up the conversation of seeing the deeper truth of life, like what life is really about. And this is something you can open up the conversation with friends, with loved ones, and hear different perspectives. This is one of the beautiful things we have in humanity, is hearing different perspectives. And it doesn't mean that we have to agree with these different perspectives, though hearing them can really help us to learn and grow and evolve even more. It's like, oh, that's interesting. I've never heard of it in that way, or I've never considered it in that way. Or, oh, yeah, very interesting. Doesn't resonate, but nice to hear someone with a different opinion. This is one of the things I posted a long time ago online, and I was talking about how humanity is so wonderful when we can really celebrate our differences and connect from our sameness. So celebrating the differences within humanity, that there's so much diversity. That's amazing. We can learn so much from that. And to not forget that the important thing is connecting from our sameness, connecting from the level of where we're all the same. We've all got beating hearts. We're all on this crazy planet together. Connecting from the sameness. So there's a few things I wanted to mention before I sign off today. These will be short little lives that you can just tune in every Monday. And I will be talking about different things, and you can ask questions as well. So if you have any specific questions, you can just pop them in the comments, and either I connect to it live if I see the comments coming up live, or I will talk about it in the next week, in the next video. So these weekly little check-ins, these weekly little connections are here as a way that we can talk about all these wonderful topics and really discuss like practical, useful and effective ways that we can navigate the ups and downs of life. And because sometimes things that can be challenging, sometimes there can be anxiety, sometimes there can be challenging emotions, sometimes there can be like we find it difficult to see ourselves in a constructive and good light, like we're only focused on the criticism or the judgments. There can be these things that pop up. So it's useful to have these little check-ins and this space where we can discuss these things and we can explore, okay, what can really help with this? And I'll be sharing much more. I've been through many different things that I've shared on my podcast, and I'll share more here also in terms of like how I navigated anxiety, overcame weekly panic attacks, so all of that. If you haven't heard about my story with that, you can listen to episode 4 of the podcast. It's on YouTube as well. I'll link it in the description once I finish this live. Though I'll be talking about all these different topics, and here's a space where you can ask questions as well if there's anything that you're going through, anything you're finding challenging. And I'm not here as a teacher on a pedestal to say, oh, I know the answer. I'm just here simply to share my experiences, and maybe there's some benefit in there for you. And in the last 10 years of working with clients around the world, online and also in person, there's been a lot of things I've learnt, and still plenty more that I'm learning, though there's been a lot of really wonderful things that I've learned about myself, about others, and how to navigate these things like anxiety and emotions and all of that. So there's a few events coming up. I've got one event on the 19th of January, and you can find all these links on my website, so www.emmabradford.net. And what we're going to do on the 19th is going to be really fun, creative. We're going to get the paints out. It's an online workshop, so everything will be online. Anyone can join from anywhere. That's the beauty of online. And we're going to get together and we're going to get creative. So bring your paints, bring your crayons, bring your pencils, whatever you want to draw and paint with. I will be sharing some techniques. Those of you who don't know, I am also very creative. As you can see in the background, art is a huge thing for me, and I paint. It also forms part of my work and the one-on-one sessions that I do with people. So I'll be sharing some simple techniques, how we can use paint and colour, and also how we can reconnect to that true essence within ourselves through creative arts, through the paint and colour. So we're going to have fun, and we're also going to learn about ourselves at the same time. We're going to really get curious about who am I really? And we're going to do that through creative arts. So if you're interested in that, this week only, there's a special price where if you bring a friend, you both get a special price for that. So yeah, this week, if you have the opportunity to bring a friend along, you want to join, you're available for that day, you can join us. And yeah, thank you so much for your comments. Yeah, good idea, amazing. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. Color, art, creative expression, all of that. I really love it, and it's been really profound for me in my own personal practice, and also with when I've done workshops and previous workshops in the past with students, and like just what I've seen also, like creativity is such a gift. It really is. It's a place where we can reconnect to that inner child and explore and play. And this is suitable for all levels. You don't have to be an artist for this. We're not looking to create the next big masterpiece. It's not about that. It's about having fun, exploring, getting creative, and really diving into who are we really. And I'm going to bring in a little bit of numerology into that workshop also. So we'll be exploring a little bit on an individual personal level for each participant. We will go through that, like what are the numbers, like we'll focus on one specific number in our chart, but we will look at that and how does that relate to who we really are and how we show up in life, like how we live our life and the direction that we want to take our life in. So that will be everything that we cover in the workshop. So that's a wonderful way to start the year, 2023. Do something fun, do something creative, and learn about yourself and have a little bit more clarity and direction in the way that you're going through in life. Perhaps you're at crossroads, perhaps you're going through certain things at the moment and you want to gain a little bit more clarity. So feel free to join us. I will put the link. It's all on my website, www.emmabradford.net, though I will put the specific link also in the description. And as I mentioned, the podcast episode about this year specifically in numerology 2023 will come out on Wednesday. So Wednesday, 8 a.m. Barcelona time, it will come out. So look out for that. That will be everywhere on iTunes, it'll be on Spotify, it'll be on all the top podcast places, and also on YouTube. And also there's more coming. There'll be more events. So I won't mention all of them now because there's so many things that are coming up. So keep an eye out. There'll be plenty more events. There'll be a 3-day challenge coming soon. There will also be the opportunity to join Creating Change, which is my signature program. And it's a place where we go through as a group and we really reconnect to life in a very fun and simple yet profound way. It's based on 5 different points of connection, and it's all through dance, through creative arts, and through insight. So we go through as a group. It's a really wonderful, wonderful journey. I'll be talking more about that in the other lives. Though I think for today, that's where I wanted to leave it. So if you wanted to join us for the Creative Arts Workshop, then do join us and get curious, like how you're starting this year, 2023, how you're starting the year, what your intention is, and get curious about like what is life, like what's your perspective of life, what is life really about for you. Again, you don't need to know the answer right now. It's just opening up to the curiosity, opening up the question. Because when we ask ourselves opening questions, we're creating space for answers to come in. So we're just creating the space for the insights to come in. So thank you so much for joining, whether you're joining live, some of you have been joining live, thank you so much. It's wonderful to have you here. And also, if you're listening to the recording, thank you so much. Please do give a like, subscribe, all of that. It really helps to spread the message. And if you found this useful, feel free to share this with a loved one. And I wish you a wonderful week. I will be back here next Monday, same time, and I'll share more. Thank you for being you.